A Birmingham theatre is dark tonight, a controversial play cancelled after the threat of more violent protests outside. The Rep Theatre had altered the plot to appease the protesters. The audience was even given a note relaying the grievances of the Sikh community, but all to no avail. Now the playwright is in hiding after she received death threats for a work depicting sexual abuse in a Sikh temple. After Saturday's disturbances, police and religious leaders had feared even bigger demonstrations tonight. Our chief correspondent, Alex Thompson, is in Birmingham. Alex.
Well, dramatic developments. Within the past hour, the Birmingham Theatre Company, that's a London-based company who work at the old Rep Theatre, not far from the Rep, at which I'm now standing. Their director, Neil Foster, has said quite simply, if the Rep here cannot put on this play, and it seems they can't, then his company will put it on. He says, quite straightforwardly, that the needs of artistic expression and freedom count for more, in his words, than health and safety. So it seems that the debate that's been raging across this city today now very much looks set to continue. Seasonal municipal festivities surrounds the Birmingham Rep, an ironic background for a day on which violent, intolerant thuggery took on freedom of speech in Britain and won, hands down. Like any Christmas theatre, the Rep's big money is on children's shows just now, and the theatre, by law, couldn't risk violence with so many children and families coming here tonight.
We have, I think, no option but to honour what is our overriding duty, which is to the health and safety of the theatre. It doesn't for 1 second make us feel good, and we resent deeply having to be put in this position. Sadly, that's where we are today.
The playwright herself supports the managers, but only on their decision to pull the play simply on safety grounds.
The leaders of the Sikh community could not guarantee that there would not be a repeat of the levels of violence we saw on Saturday, and the police informed us that their understanding was the demonstrations were likely to get larger.
Sikh leaders at the Gurdwaras, the temples, say they're all in favour of freedom of speech.
The freedom of expression carries with it a responsibility, and if you don't discharge that responsibility in an appropriate manner, then it's an abuse of that privilege, fiction or no fiction.
For much of the day, this city centre police station was the venue for talks as Sikh leaders arrived, speaking of protesters coming potentially from all over the UK. And the theatre managers saying they simply hoped the show would somehow go on. In the middle, of course, the West Midlands constabulary, with race relations issues which will outlast any theatre production.
Did you put the pressure on the...
That is not our role. That is not our role at all. It's a matter entirely for the theatre.
This was the Rep Theatre on Saturday night. Today the police bluntly said they could expect more of this and worse. So today, the mob had their victory.
We congratulate the theatre for taking the decision it took after we exercised our democratic rights of protest. The withdrawing of the play Behzti, for whatever reason, is appreciated.
The Sikh community in this city has yet to explain how smashing up a theatre is, quote, our democratic rights of protest. Tonight, a definite police presence around the Rep.
There is no dishonour in the freedom of speech.
And just 2 protesters wanting freedom of speech, one of them a friend of the playwright.
This afternoon I heard that she was threatened with kidnapping and murder. And originally we were coming down to protest the play being taken off, and when we heard, we didn't turn around because we subsequently heard that she had been threatened with kidnapping and murder, so we felt it was really important to be here and make our point.
So for now, these stills are about as near to the play as you're going to get. And in future, what Asian, black, white, blue or Martian playwright would risk the wrath of the religious mobs of 21st century Britain? Alex Thompson, Channel 4 News, Birmingham.
And we'll be talking about the implications of the closure of the play later in the programme. The new Home Secretary Charles Clarke is bracing himself for a Labour